Cool, 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 cool. I just gotta fix one thing real fast. Pop you up. Yep, 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 yep. There you go. Boom, boom. Ha ha! Don't need any of you. Get out of my way. Make it bigger. Oh, okay. That's a little too big. Let's tone that down, lady. Scary lady. Scary lady. Okay. So we are good to go on YouTube. Gonna hit the button on Twitch now. Boop. We are a little bit behind the times, but that's fine. Every once in a while, stuff happens. Can't get around it, really. Still don't know why the chat was broken though. That's a weird one. Apparently, if you double click chat or double click the chat box, Shin, OBS will now crash. That's not helpful. Oh, what? Why are you coming out of my monitor? What? There we go. That's better. What happened here? OBS, what are you doing? That's crazy. Oh, I gotta boot up voice meter before I do anything else. Bloop. All right, I will be starting up the jukebox soon. My bad, everybody. There we go. And we said, let there be audio. And there was audio. Why are you so low, dude? Oh, you're not low anymore. That's very, very loud now. Let's just tone you down just a wee bit. Of course, I get the bugs all tonight. Woo! You're at 100. You're at 100. Everything's good. Okay. we can settle in all nice and ginger now. We're good to go. Everything's running. Thanks for sticking with us, Arvin. I'm sorry. World War II specific historical fiction. Hmm. I don't have any friends that are like big history buffs. Now I think about it. Wait, Shin, are you talking now? If you are, I cannot hear you. I don't know if that's me or you. Well, Discord's not saying you're saying anything. Oh. I heard you before. Okay. For some reason, you came out of my monitor speakers, not even my actual speakers. I don't know what that's about. I also don't know why if you double click the chat box in YouTube that it says no and just straight up crashes. Oh, I would love to pick up some of my old stuff that like I had worked on in the past. But then sometimes you just stare at it and you're like, am I that same person? Oh, nope, I see something wrong here. You guys can't hear. Why not? Oh, hold on. Nope. What's going on here, bud? What's this about? What's this about? Okay, now it's running. Okay. Shin is currently also experiencing technical difficulties. I feel a little better. I still feel bad, but I feel a little better. It's not just me. I hear something. That sounded almost like a cat scratch on something. Like a or maybe a lick from their weird scratchy tongues. Do you also need to restart everything? Oh, the one thing I will do while we are waiting is... Let me pop this open real quick. For those of you on Twitch, for those of you on YouTube, you can just come down to the description and click on the links for the stuff we're looking at. Some of them are free, some of them aren't. But you can totally click the links and then figure out where we're going, or when we finish something, feel free also to, support the creators of them. But right now, oh, I heard another scratch. The first thing we're going to be looking at is I heard things. I heard the click of a mouse, if that helps you.
It does.
Yes!
Because I'm live.
Hi!
Sorry about that.
Oh, these links are incredibly long. Hold on, let me get you the real link. You don't need the YouTube redirect link to Twitch. Sorry. But first adventure we're going to take a look at today is Caged Fathoms. I am unable to pin. Awesome. I have no idea what's going on today. It's just janky. Everything's janky today.
I mean, usually I approve of all things janky. Also, what up, Arvin? Usually I approve of all things janky. This just seems like extra Eldritch jank that I didn't ask for today.
For real? Why are they mean?
Like I logged in and for whatever reason Discord refused to see my microphone that I use because I use a standing mic. I feel like it works better.
I'm strongly considering going back to standing mic over headset, especially for stuff like this, because I'm like moving around. I got to look between the two computers.
Mm-hmm.
I think standing mic might be the better option.
I like standing mic. I can set it up nicely. You know, if I have to get up for whatever reason to go grab something, I can, but still be captured because I'm still within the radius of the mic. I need that convenience as I get older.
I feel you. I feel you on a spiritual level.
I need things to be portable.
I
also
love that channel.
Also, I have made a terrible mistake.
Oh no.
I have committed the players in my game that we played yesterday. One moment.
Have you committed yourself to the asylum? Also, just related to this, it has nothing to do with this specific episode or any of you guys, but if you hear like a buzz in the background and then I seem extremely agitated, it's because, so in my hometown, this guy that I knew, his wife and his mom, I think it's his mother-in-law, I don't think it's his mom, they got in a horrible car accident and they passed away.
Geez.
and one of my acquaintances, I don't know if I would consider them a friend. One of my acquaintances just keeps texting me things like, "Where do I go? How do I give my thoughts and prayers to this person?" And I'm like, "I haven't spoken to that person in like 20 years. I can't help you."
They want your opinion on that? What the? That's too much.
So like right as the stream started, they were like, "Are the services right now?" I'm like, "How would I know?"
Yeah, that's 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 a wild question.
But
I wouldn't
yes,
even.
my phone just keeps buzzing, and I'm like, "I don't know what you want from me."
They don't know.
They don't know. But yes, you were telling us about.
Uh, so I have committed
Excuse me.
my cleric, my forge cleric, to
Ooh.
a war cleric of 1 D&D standard. I have
Ooh.
officially turned my 5e cleric into a new cleric in an attempt to see how well I can reinstill ROLE play into the character. I
Okay.
made it
You
my
didn't want
personal
to double
challenge.
dip to the same class?
No, no, I thought about it. I thought about it, but I was like, no, you know what? I'm okay giving up Forge Cleric for War Cleric because the War Cleric is essentially the Forge Cleric now.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm okay giving up some of these capabilities to to the greater good. And I also wanted to see how well it plays alongside other classes because all the players in my other all the other players in my group are getting the 1 D&D grouping version. So like the ranger who wanted to be a gloomstalker is getting new gloomstalker, not classic
Oh.
gloomstalker. And I was like,
Okay.
you know what? Let me see just how dumb this gets.
Hmm.
So I'm currently delving deep into seeing how dumb this is gonna get. Uh, as it stands, I've already gained at level 3. I remade the character essentially by deleting the old cleric. I had to delete the old cleric levels and add the new cleric. That's non-legacy. It's a complete mess on D&D Beyond. So
Oh. Hmm.
uh, D&D Beyond, if you're listening to us, please fix that. Like maybe give somebody the ability to, I don't know, on creation click legacy new. Like 2014, 20. It's you, D&D. You could even have older editions if you wanted to, but I'm not going to give Watsy ideas. Anyway.
Imagine if they had enough people to work on that stuff where that was
Oof,
viable.
man.
Because they
Don't
totally
don't talk
could.
about things. Don't talk about impossible things. Come on now. Come on. Let's not dream.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just, it's so crazy. Okay, I just want to double check to make sure that Twitch was running. Everything that that channel does, like they're very like bare bones animations. Arvin, I love everything they do. That guy like knows exactly what our sense of humor is. He just knows. He knows his audience real well.
That's a good that's a good creator.
I'm gonna I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't remember their name. But when I tell you the dude who draws the simple automatics over some random like meme voiceover and he only uses like blue and gray and there's usually a wizard, I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
I have no idea what his name is, but we all know his stuff.
Exactly who you mean. Like I can see him. I can see it in my head right now. To be honest, though, I am terrible with meme names. You can attest, Okami. I send about 45 million memes a day.
It's fair. We all
I
do it.
receive, I receive equal amounts from you.
Yep.
Um,
Punky Doodles. Yes, it is.
That being said, though, it there's some that just stand out.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of them. Oh, Punky! Oh, thank you, Art. See, Art gets it.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right. I realized unwittingly as like I had to rush to figure out what songs I was going to use for this, and then I went through the three. I'm literally just going in the alphabetical order that these adventures are arranged in my folders, and it just so
Okay.
happens that the first three are spooky, and I didn't. That wasn't planned. If it was planned, I would have waited like until spooky season to do it, but technically, like let's face it, it's spooky season now already. Come
Are
on.
we getting into? Are we getting into spooky season? We're officially doing our Shocktober content.
Seems like it. Unintentionally, but it's spooky season. So this very first one we're going to take a look at, now that we're taking a look at adventures, happens to be called Caged Fathoms, and it is by Wizard from Oz, not Wizard of Oz. If you're, for some reason, I can't pin the link on Twitch. I'm not sure why that is, but if you're on YouTube, you can head down to the description below, use that link. You can also look up Caged Fathoms, and if you're watching the VOD, you'll be able to see me post the link in the Twitch chat. It's just people who are new who are coming
Could
in might
I?
be like, huh? And I apologize for that. But one thing I
Oh,
want to
listen.
say before we even get into Caged Fathoms, I mean, we are getting into Caged Fathoms, so I'm going to make sure I write down when this starts ish. But so it's called Caged Fathoms, but this is the opening page to it. It says Shui Gui encounter. Shui is water, so this first character. The next one is demon, but they use it as ghost here. You probably recognize demon because it's part of Goki's name, like Akuma in Japanese. They're using it as ghost, but that's it could be an evil spirit, yes, but the more like the better translation is demon than ghost.
Hmm. It spectral things of that nature are
Mm.
usually pretty interchangeable. I feel like, especially in the fantasy setting, you can get away. I think even when you think about like older D&D, at I think a lot of early players are like who adopted cleric, and when the turn undead abilities came around, it was like really breaking down what the hell is a ghoul versus a ghost versus a
Mm.
like a zombie versus a specter versus a shade. It was like, oh wow, hold on, there's more to this than I realized.
We'll also say uh, the like vampire trope not being able to cross water is something that like Chinese ghouls often have, and even like
Mm.
Lele or Shenko, like
Mm-hmm.
that a Jiangshi, a corpse puppet, they also cannot cross running water. So it's weird to be like this is a water ghost
I love,
because generally speaking they wouldn't be able to cross the water.
but I love Shenko. I love her. I don't care if she's trash in Marvel 3.
Ah,
She was godlike in Darkstalkers, the Vampire Savior too.
ah, Darkstalkers needs to make a real comeback.
Listen, all right. I've been playing a lot of. I so fun fact. I'm featured in a Justin Wong video currently. If you watch one of his Marvel 2 videos, you will see one of my matches with him. um, but I've been playing a gratuitous amount of Marvel 2 when I'm not playing D&D. They're gonna bring Darkstalkers back. Trust me. Just trust me, Okami.
Hey, I'm just happy that there's apparently a DLC coming for Shredder's Revenge that they accidentally leaked today with Mondo Gecko and
What?
Mona Lisa, and I was like, oh,
Uh,
I mean, that's
Wait, they're
not who
bringing
I was
Mona Lisa
expecting.
back?
Yeah, I was like, I was not expecting them to be in the game, but okay.
You know what's funny? You know what would have really been a real killer if they brought Venus to Milo.
Venus is a
It,
big character in the comics.
yeah, I know she got a little bit of love in the comics, but I would laugh so hard if they brought Venus back. I
She's
feel like they know what to do.
a like time traveling chi wizard in the comics.
What? Run that one by me one more time.
Time traveling. Actually, I think it's more than time. I think it's time and space traveling chi wizard.
Hey, yep, yep, no, no.
What an upgrade, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm just like, yeah. uh, You said a lot of words, is what I heard. But I am really interested. I will say this much: I did take a little peek ahead at the Cage Fathoms
Hmm.
adventure here. I am very intrigued to see how they're going to utilize a different culture's idea of horror,
Yeah. So,
because Chinese horror is not as it's not similar to our horror or the Americanized horror. I
mm,
would say, where we kind of go for the gore and like this thing is gonna rip your heart out of your chest. This is like, hey, you're gonna slowly watch someone wither away and die, while simultaneously a plant in the corner takes its face.
that's a great way to describe it. Their terror is like watching someone disappear, but not necessarily like die, just like something's gonna usurp their
Uh-huh.
whole life. It's a different feel.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
They're very quick to take out like bloodlines and
mm,
everyone you care about.
hmm. I don't think I have. I might have it as a stat block, but there's a Filipino folklore creature that I cannot remember the name of, but I know it's like a million syllables. Um, and it's like a lady that tricks you into sort of spending the night with her, and then her head comes off her body, and her head will have little bat wings, and she like sucks the blood out of you, and then takes over your body too. And like just Asian horror is
Oh,
weird, bro.
yeah, yeah. No, it doesn't follow anything I would consider as like the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, hey, what if you became a mindless slave after? Because like when you first hear about stuff like that, you're like, oh, in Japanese culture, that's like ice women. They like
Mm-hmm.
they're
Yukiona.
beautiful. Yeah, Yukiona, you fall in love with them. They're beautiful. You come into their home. It's really their lair. They sleep with you, and you freeze to death at night, and you die there. Pretty dark, pretty freaking gruesome. But some odd reason, other countries are just like, oh, we got you beat. We're not only gonna stop you in your tracks. We're gonna maim you internally and mentally for your entire bloodline.
And it's not funny. Like I've brought this up many times. I just think it's the greatest thing ever. That evil wizard in Call of Cthulhu who curses a bloodline to die on their 20th birthday, and like 6 or 7 people in the bloodline die, and then you find out there's no curse, there's no magic here. This dude just shows up to their house on their 20th birthday and blows them away with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm. It listen. Sometimes shit, stuff happens.
Sometimes,
You
man, you just gotta get your shotgun out. I don't know what else to say.
And the boomstick should not be forgotten.
So we're not going to read you the foreword, what have you, but essentially this adventure exists because someone was playing D&D and they were like, "Yo, where's this stuff from my culture?" And granted, there is Asian stuff in D&D. There's a whole like country, continent in the East, but we don't talk about that anymore because it's full of
Hmm.
cultural appropriation and yada yada. Even though I'm pretty sure I've never heard an Asian person be like, "Hey, you stole my stuff."
Nope.
But hey, whatever, it happens.
What do we know?
What do we know? So yeah, there's a lot of why this happened, but yeah, here we are. We are in Caged Fathoms. Actually, are you supposed to start up here or down there? I don't know. Oh yeah,
I
you're supposed to
figured we
start on
were
this
gonna.
side.
I figured we were gonna touch on points of it because
Hmm.
there's. It's not long, but we
No,
do have other adventures to get through, so
I
figured we'd
tried
touch
to
on
make
stuff.
sure that the ones I was picking we could definitely get through in one session, so we could get through more than one. But
Mm, mm,
yeah,
mm.
these are relatively concise. I will say though, the vast majority, I think that this is true of adventures in general. It seems like to me the vast majority of adventures that are available are starter adventures for levels 1 to 5. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
know why people
I
just want
have
to stick there,
I
but
have a reason. I think 1 to 5 is easier to set expectations because
mm,
at 1 you're introducing the world. In a
mm,
lot of these situations, it's an entirely different world or land. Sometimes they have like little subclasses, a lot of lore and things of that nature. So, expecting to dump that onto level 5 to 10 characters and expect those characters to want to learn the lore of your area in that sense, it's a little weird. You know what I mean?
mm,
I feel like lore and understanding the world is really meant to start at 1 to 5. That's when you want your characters to get intrigued by their factions and learn about their masters and find out about their deity. You know what I mean? And really
mhm, mhm,
dive into their characters. So that 5 to 10 is them refining what they want to learn. And in a case like this, you don't want a lot of past knowledge. It wants to be fresh. Sometimes you can do it with certain players, but I think it's usually easier to just have 1 to 5 players because it also is easy if, let's say, you've never run a campaign. Here you go. Your players have never played before. Start them at level 1 like everybody else.
mm. I have there's the next supplementals will come out eventually. It's already uploaded, so if you're a YouTube member, you can see it. But part of like what I wanted to start supplementals for to talk about was things that you could drop in versus things you have to start with because they fundamentally like change something that you should have known before or the way the world works. So, like this, you could probably fit this into your campaigns. Like this is supposed to be an encounter for 4 to 6 adventurers of levels 5 to 10, but probably the vast majority of adventures we run through are going to be 1 to 5. Because, like Shin said, it's easier to start people on things to give them expectations of the world rather than you throw this in, it doesn't really fit into anything else. There's like a worry that your stuff won't fit in, especially if it comes from, like this comes from a different culture, a different background than what the average person playing D&D would know and be comfortable with.
Mm. Yeah.
So, this particular adventure has story seeds, which are like things you can sort of throw in there to maybe get your players' attention. But one thing that's super important that I've learned, and I think a lot of DMs will agree with me, if you are being subtle, you are often being too subtle. Like your players don't take hints as well as they would even in real life. There's just something about when you're playing D&D that all of a
Mm.
sudden, like, your players just stone-faced all the time. Everything goes over their heads.
It can be. it can be really tough sometimes to get players to interact, especially too. Sometimes, especially at higher levels, to a point where I was having a conversation with my DM for my Sunday game. At certain points, combat is very pointless. So you want combat to be things they can't kill, things they can't deal with normally, things that are meant to truly resist them and make them work smarter, not harder. And when you need to do that for your players and they don't understand it, it's tough. It's really tough. Because you're trying to throw hints at how they can stop this thing, even though every time they swing at it, you go, you hit a crit, but it doesn't seem to affect it. And they're like, I swing again. This time
In
with
fact,
more
DM Shin is responsible for the anti-magic field y'all ran into on your last session with me.
It's true, I am. I am.
It was brilliant, and it worked perfectly.
I've been hoping they were going to be destroyed by this anti-magic field for quite some time.
We didn't
They
even
weren't
fight.
destroyed, but it did give like the split second of like, wait, what? In time for the supposed bad guy to be like, can we talk?
Oh.
Arvin says hello.
Yay!
Came just in time.
I will also say that. Oh, no, you go.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, just so you know, the littlest monster was going into the back, literally crying at not being able to pop on and say hi to you.
Oh. You're making me want my own little monster, but I'm gonna get a quadrupedal one, if anything. Let's be honest.
We just need to get you hooked up with a girl that's not like your mom.
Oh, that also works. I like both of those options. Find them the same
6 of
person's
one,
gonna
half
be
dozen
rough,
of the
though.
other.
Yeah, they do kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So we've just gotten into Caged Fathoms and had a little chat, but now we're like actually going down it. But what I was gonna say, we had just talked about the subtlety thing, but beyond that, like Deficient Master, if you don't watch his videos, you should. They're pretty good. But he constantly says like you can't base your encounters on like you shouldn't be using the CR difficulty to base your encounters. You should be putting creatures in where they should be. And I think that's totally true. But if your creatures like Shin's problem, I've also had that problem. A lot of players assume I'm in combat, that means I must kill this thing. And you're going to have to teach your players along the way, like, maybe you don't have to. Maybe you can go a little bit further on the scale towards adoption agency. Maybe that might be helpful to you.
I'm usually not pushing my players towards adoption agency, but I am usually.
It is inevitable.
No, trust me. My players never want to adopt anything I put in front of them. I've been lucky. Mostly because I think if they did, it would find its way into a terrible trap for them to build character. No. But I do have to say, it gets kind of tricky to balance that kind of stuff out because it also depends on if your player sees what you see in them. Like their capability to solve said problem. I think that them going around stuff is necessary because in real life, if you ran into a monster, is your first instinct always going to be to fight it?
True.
I mean, that's my instinct for most sentient creatures, but
I feel like us as humans, though, we kind of have an odd instinct of like, oh, that thing is huge. I can't fight it. We will rationalize it a little bit more, even if we had magical powers.
Yeah, I'm like one of those chihuahuas that thinks it's like Great Dane.
All right, so in our party, we realize now that DM Lacara is ready to see danger and be like, let's kick its ass before it gets to us.
I can take it. I can take it. I can take it.
Yeah. So we're now establishing the party, guys. The Okami is going to adopt all the animals. I'm
pretty sure Okami has seen me hit people.
And
Have
DM
I?
Lacara will be our.
I have been
absolute
gifted
weapon
weapons by you.
master.
Have I? I mean, that is a traditional sign of affection for me, but I don't remember buying you weaponry.
I think I have nunchucks. I know that were yours at some point. I think there's something else too, though.
Oh, yeah, I did the calligraphy on those for you. That's right.
Yeah. I think there's something
I
else
forgot
too.
that.
But I
Wow.
can't think of that.
That was a long time ago.
That's beautiful. That's actually beautiful.
Oh man.
I once had a friend whose brother met me and immediately gave me a knife and was like, I understand that this is like appropriate for meeting you. And I was like, oh, good, you've been trained.
Understand this is appropriate for meeting you? And the response was, you've been trained. I'm crying. You know what? Hand all weapons. Oh, trained weapons master. DM Lacara. Master of
This is why I
arms.
always play clerics and stuff, because I'm a fighter in real life.
I was telling Okami before that I have officially adopted the 1D&D, aka fake 5.5e cleric on my character sheet.
Oh no, you went to the dark side?
I'm trying it for
That's
science.
basically what it is.
I'm trying it for science.
Hmm.
I'm attempting to see if there's anything redeemable about this.
I mean, the cleric was not the worst
It wasn't.
of them.
True.
I was a forge cleric, so now I'm a war cleric. I've pretty much though spoken to my DM, and he's like, "No, we're keeping all the forge stuff about your cleric in there." He's like, "I'm going to make sure it happens," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." So at least he's working with me to maintain ROLE.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want that to go away either. The rest of my party is like, I can now do 4 attacks at level 3. The rangers realize that with Vex and Nick, the weapon mastery abilities, and his innate ability to get a second attack, he can now do like 3 attacks per attack. And I'm like, oh god, here it comes. Here comes the min-max.
I did also offer some of the new cleric options to the cleric in our campaign too.
Did
But
they
I
bite?
think all she took were just like the buffed up healing spells. Like that those
Ooh.
like each went up a die. Which is very pessimistic of her, since I don't think you guys have taken any real amount of damage at any point, no matter what I've thrown at you.
We can fix that the old-fashioned way.
I know, I
think
really,
one
really
person went
just need to
down?
throw a dragon at them, but... No, at one point, the bard, who ends up front and center in every fight, regardless of the fact that his AC is like 12,
It's true.
Our bard, my beloved husband, runs into the center of every fight, no matter what. Except because the party's so huge, they one-shot everything, and he took like 20 poison damage once in the entire campaign so far.
Man is a real champion.
Figuring out the
doesn't help
glass
that I can't-
cannon is so hard.
Yeah. Well, it also doesn't help that I don't think I've rolled higher than an 8 as any of the monsters in the campaign so far.
Oh.
If I...
My sister just discovered that people test like how balanced a die is by its buoyancy. And she keeps sending. She sent me a video or two of like this person testing these factory dice, and like for some reason, a bunch of these dice must have come from the same exact factory. They roll a 12 like 80% of the time, and I was like,
Oh.
I'm sure I have dice like this, but I'm never gonna put them in a glass of water. I'm just too lazy, so I will suffer.
Yeah, for the rest of my
I'm
life.
getting out a glass of water right now. BRB, guys. I gotta fix this.
I was like, but why 12? Like, it's not even 10. I could see if they put a weight at like 10 to make it balanced in air quotes. But
Because
12.
they don't know what to do.
Interesting.
In what world does having a die balance on 10 make it balanced?
It's just because it's in the middle.
They think they have a good reason.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not
This doesn't line up
intentional.
with anyone that's using it.
Yeah. I'm sure it's not intentional, but it's just weird that it just happened to be like she had like 6 or 7 D20s that all rolled 12s 80% of the time. I was like, yo, I hope your dice jail's real big.
Enormous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I had a dice jail, it would be huge.
Look at the
My
size
house
of my...
just isn't big enough for that.
Yeah, I realize as I get older and adult more, I'm going to need to really figure out where I'm putting all of my D&D related stuff. Because otherwise I'm going to have a real problem. I already have a real problem.
I'm just, you guys can't see it, but I'm just like looking real shifty back and forth.
Yeah. I could feel that.
Oh, Okami, if there was ever a need to address I want you to know with love, I would take a bulldozer and build you a new house. Just for all your stuff.
The whole thing. Oops, the whole thing. Yo.
The whole fucking.
Just to tell you guys out there like how big of a problem I have right now. One of the games that I kickstarted was Maladum because Maladum has Battle Systems is doing the terrain for it, and they have some of the most gorgeous punchboard terrain ever, where it looks like it's not even cardboard anymore. And they on the Kickstarter they put out an update earlier in the week, and they were like, we finally have the samples of what our all-in pledge will be, and they had like I think it's 8 or 9 boxes on the table, and it took up like their whole dining room table like size thing. And I'm looking at it and I read through the whole update, and then I go, wait a minute, and I scroll back up and I was like, what pledge is that? Son of a bitch, that's my pledge.
Oh no.
Own more terrain than some countries.
If it was land, I'd be impressed. I want you to know that.
Yeah. You're like the
you
entire
should own
G8 of yeah. You're a
Actually
disturbing amount of terrain.
Yeah, like it's actually ridiculous the amount of terrain you own, Okami. And I know in your head you're like, it's really not that bad.
Which is the sign you have a problem.
Yeah, but it is that bad, Okami.
No, mine is just, where can I fit an addition onto this house that gives me too a walk-in closet?
Maybe the problem isn't your lack of a walk-in closet. Did you ever contemplate that? Just out of curiosity.
You know, usually my argument going into conversations like this or interventions, you know, whatever you want to call it, is like, but when are you ever going to use that? But you can't even take that tack with Okami because
No.
he will use it. That's not the problem.
No, the usage of it is actually the least of its concern. It's the fact that he has so many justifications for it that is in fact the issue.
Yeah.
Because they are insane, the number he has. He has way too many. And he could pull them out of the drop of a hat. He's probably formulated 5 of them to try and use right now. I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Then
I mean,
I did mention I have the next. If you're a YouTube member, you can already see it. The next supplementals, but the episode after that is going to be terrain based. Incredibly stupid terrain, but terrain nonetheless.
terrain. What you really need to do is just like catalog the terrain that you have and then rent it out to groups.
I agree.
That was the original plan for minis. I have a spreadsheet with the minis, and I remember in Clubs' server I guess my server was also started, but like we hadn't talked about it yet. But I do remember after JB hosted us to play a session of Clubs' game, I was like, yo, I'll never be able to use all of my minis at the same time, so I have a spreadsheet. If you guys ever need minis, please let me know.
I remember.
I should do the same for the terrain.
For a low price. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
rent it for
Just put.
Yeah, money.
Yes, money.
Okami,
the thing that you use to buy other things.
You know, folks. You know what would be
so
crazy?
I can buy more terrain.
You know what we also get Okami money, folks? If you were here clicking buttons to assist us in getting Okami monetary assistance, because clearly he doesn't think about it for himself. I'm going to turn it over
We're here to do it for him.
Yeah. I'm going to turn over to the easy, simple words, the simplest instructions to follow, as brought to us by everyone's favorite, DM Lacara. DM Lacara, how can they help?
That's optimistic.
You're everyone's favorite DM Lacara. That's the key point.
I like it. The answer is click the buttons. If you have money, click the buttons that sign you up to be a Patreon or a YouTube subscriber so that you can give Okami your money, and then we will teach him what to do with said money. If you do not have money, hit the buttons to subscribe and share, and that way he also indirectly gets money. You feel good either way. Okami gets money. We will teach him what to do with it. The world will be a better place.
One of those things we will teach him not to do with it is kickstart any more terrain. As Okami has way too much, though, perhaps Okami, you can start showing it off in cool terrain videos on the Patreon and for YouTube subscribers, which would mean if you're premium, you get to see them.
Oh, that's also a pretty good idea.
This is what we do, folks. We help Okami find the best ways to be Okami.
I'm not going to write that one down. I'm just going to remember that one.
Yep. Showcase the terrain. Maybe put up some of the terrain options, a little poster at your friendly local games store and say, hey, you can rent these for a low price. You know, like that.
Maybe even see if you have certain terrain that you have too much of, and see if the local game store may want to buy some of it from you or use it for some of their game nights.
Mm-hmm.
That way you build a community with the local community.
Yeah, you don't even have to pay shipping for the terrain.
Would be nice to use one of those fancy recessed tables.
Wouldn't it?
And no, Grim, if
I
you're
told-
watching this later, no, I don't need a recessed table. Where am I going to put a
Grim.
recessed dining room table?
Grim, you are not to buy him a recess table. This is not a requirement.
Okami, you should really pack up some of your terrain at some point. Come over for a weekend. Use mine. Film some stuff. And then go home. You can also film in peace.
Oh, God. Oh, filming in peace would be so nice. Oh,
What means do you?
oh, it would be so good. It would be so good.
DM Lacara, the thought of that just broke him mentally.
I know. I probably should have waited until after the stream.
No, it's okay.
Shin, you
Get
and I
him-
may have to carry the rest of this.
That's okay. We catch him in the feelings now, so that way he's crippled emotionally, and we just get the best. We get people to really understand why they need to like, comment, and subscribe. This is why, folks. So you can get more emotional Okami moments.
It does kind of look like Agatha. You're right. Well, a more Asian-featured Agatha, but Agatha.
Ooh, what?
The heart.
Are you
nest.
talking to the voices in your head?
No, Arvin said the image of the Shea looks kind of like Agatha. Ooh, also, yes, both of these have the tones. However, I cannot speak properly with the tones for some reason. Well, this isn't a for
Shueguai.
some reason. I speak Chinese with a Japanese accent, so my tones are usually all number 3 because I'm trying to make sure that there are tones. So please don't take the way I speak Chinese as how it should be pronounced. It's going to sound weird because I'm a white guy, but my Chinese accent is Japanese.
There's a lot to unpack there. Long and short of it is, we're not experts, folks. So please forgive us if you are. Don't light us up in the comments.
I can cover the Chinese pronunciation if we really need it.
We're
That's fine by
multifaceted
me.
and heavily skilled in this group. Combined, we are Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ! It's those 3 DMs. That's what we want when we walk into a friendly local game shop. Jesus Christ!
Oh no, not you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the round table. Quick, hide your homebrew lore before they review it.
They are brutal.
And then there's got to be someone who like sheepishly comes up and is like, "Please, sir, and madams, may I have another?"
My eyes just glow. Is this lore?
In
We
all
really need-
fairness, as long as there's flavor, we're fine.
Yeah, it's true.
That would be it. God, we're gonna get a Meat Canyon style video at one point. It's just gonna be us sniffing the contents of their adventure for flavor. We all turn into Guy Fieri, just looking for the flavor.
We're simple DMs with simple desires. We
It's
just
very
want flavor.
simple.
And
We
if your
just want the
thing is
flavor.
too complicated, then we don't shit on it. We're just like, why? But why? Like, Grim sent me a homebrew the other day about a hex gunner as a warlock, and I was like, I see that there's less words on how this hex gun works than the last one we looked at, where it used like D2s and then D3s, and then you had to like flip 6 coins before you could fire your guns.
Oh,
I was
I
like,
know the
who's
one
doing
I know the
this?
one you looked at. I saw that one the other day. It popped up on my feed, and I immediately just got annoyed. I was just like, stop. We don't need this.
Who thought this was a good idea? Who brings all their change to D&D?
Like, at one point, the ability was to transform the gun into other guns. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Literally, you're telling me that the patron of this gun is literally the gun? No. There's nothing here for anyone. Get out of here with this crap.
Making
I
it
got
too
angry.
complicated. Sometimes you just gotta chill, lower it down. And I don't mean chill as
Seriously.
in you're dead, like the Shuigui. I don't mean that.
Stuff down. Just a little bit. It'll be okay.
But like we said about how like there's this weird like swapping fear that a lot of Asian folklore seems to have. That is the Shuigui's whole shtick. Like they drowned, they would love to just take over your body, and then you can drown for eternity.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I think I would like to stay above water for eternity, personally. But I will say that the idea of having, just off the bat, before we even get into deeper into it, there's already for me an idea of wherever these people are going, there's just pools of water.
Mm-hmm.
There's just pools of water, and that's the most dangerous thing in my campaign is a pool of water. Because you don't know. Like, I don't know the full Constitution thing, but I'm imagining, like, if this thing's drowning people, guess what? Every pool of water you encounter, you might have to roll an encounter check if you look at it. Like, you might actually have to be scared of water pools.
I am thinking of there's an episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog where there is an
Yes.
evil mermaid and like it's raining outside and Courage has to avoid all of the puddles in the road or he'll get sucked back down to murder Lantis. Like
And she's splashing the water on Eustace's face to make him, like, fall in love with her and everything. That one? Yep. Yep. I remember that episode vividly.
That is the optimal condition to scare the crap out of your players with a creature like this.
I think you
This
should be.
also sounds.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think at this point too, you should be ready to scare your players.
Mm.
Scare them. They need to know fear.
The encounter
Do you
atmosphere
remember a
block
while ago I
here.
told you?
Oh, go ahead.
No,
No.
go ahead. This is actually on topic.
I don't care. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we want to hear.
I was gonna say do you remember a while ago I told you guys about that lake with the village built in the middle of it on stilts? But it was from
Yes.
like the Bronze Age or something in Central Europe?
Yeah.
That would be the perfect setup for one
Oh
of these.
my god.
That's why they built it in the middle of the lake. They're like trying to stay away from the Shuigui, but also like they have to be near it for some reason.
Like, they're cursed to be on that. The only way they can, like, free themselves of the curse is they have to live there for a certain number of generations. But the Shuigui live right below them, so they learn to adapt. And that's what the adaptation was, a stilt city.
Like maybe the Shuigui protects them from some like terror in the woods that
but
like they cut
simultaneously
down
they have to, like,
everything
they're
for.
enslaved to
Yeah.
it, you think?
Maybe
Yes. Yeah, like they
it's
have
like
to sacrifice someone to it.
Yeah. Or maybe that the Shuigui is the sacrifice. Like they have to choose a woman in this case just because it's a girl that like this is going to be your job and you can swap bodies with someone after your term is complete.
Yep.
Oh. And of course you're coming there because you just hear stories of people disappearing, because I'm guessing not everyone would know. You know, that's what happens. It would probably be information that they keep kind of close. in a better way, if anyone's ever seen the movie The Village by M. Night Shyamalan, you know. If not, I apologize for the quick spoiler, but the idea of the community having things kept under wraps and only explained to very select people as to protect the sanctity and safety of everyone. I like that idea. Where it's very much we can't tell you, because if we tell you, it's going to potentially destroy everything we've built.
Maybe the adventurers get told that, like, oh yeah, there's this, scary monster, but that knows, X piece of information that they need, and they go there and they think it's the Shoigui, but it turns out the Shoigui keeps changing people every like 10 years, so there's no actual accumulated knowledge there. Like the whole like flip the script on the monster.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like the Giver. Yep.
Arvin gets it.
Yes.
Yep. Hey Arvin, I just actually pulled up the stream. I didn't see you say hi before.
That's good. That's good. I like this. Look at that. Look, we're already giving you flavor. I will also say that the way that this encounter is particularly written, where they have this box as like encounter atmosphere. It's not like a specific place. It's just how to make whatever place you're at seem extra creepy. That's awesome. Good job on that part.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. That you're gonna really add to. I'm excited to see what else we can pull apart from this. Let's see. We got some rules to roleplay the Shea way.
They want to come back to life. I mean, if I was drowning is a horrible way. I was about to say, like, yeah. I don't mean that I've experienced it, but drowning is a horrible way to go. So if I was going to drown forever, I definitely want to switch places with someone.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. It would be terrible, but so would drowning forever.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, they can assume the visage of a loved one. Oh, she's gonna hang out with Murmur.
Oh man!
He has a new friend.
Oh, Murmur got a girlfriend. He's too young.
Murmur got a girlfriend before me.
Oh no, Murmur, he's too young.
Good night, Arvin. Thanks for hanging out with us. Also, probably best to leave before the really scary stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, this is not going anywhere good.
Have a good night. Feel better, Arvin.
What if Murmur is her child? Born out of a reviling of everything watery.
Oh. Ooh. Yeah, nobody said what plane he had to come from. Yep. Yeah.
He's in the desert because he hates the water. Oh.
And, okay, so the next one, they're saying this monster will get angry if no one is taking the bait and can just summon pools of water underneath people. Maybe Murmur's like next generation. He hangs out in the desert. He makes like a glass. It looks like glass in the sand, and then you could fall through it. Same idea. Oh! Our world expands!
This is the flavor you get when you come to the round table.
They even work together. Instead of it being like a marsh or a lake or something, she's in an oasis in the desert.
Oh, and you know what? You could find, but you know what would be crazy? If you have someone who's an undead cleric, because they're sacrifices of former people in that village. There's nothing but gray witnesses around, so clerics can see nothing but gray witnesses because they witnessed the murder and the sacrifice of all these previous.
Our world expands! Pass down the lore!
flavorism. Tastes like an aneurysm full of flavor. I don't know. I tasted colors for a moment. I'm sorry, folks. But already, this looks like it's a lot of fun to work with. Water door I'm seeing here, and just having this thing want to summon places full of water, wanting to be in places full of water, just wanting to engulf things, even to the point where if you think you're in a dry space, which is what people are going to be looking for, you're going to be afraid of something coming up. So if you have create destroy water, you might actually get a lot of use out of that against this thing.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like, she might want to target that person particularly because they keep blowing up her ways to get to you.
Ooh, I like this.
And if you really want to make it scary, use the same Courage the Cowardly Dog idea. She splashed one of your players. You pick one at random, and she has to splash them a certain number of times, and they're gonna want to come with her. And she wants them to come with her so they can take her place.
I like this. I like everything about this.
I'm gonna make this lore.
And you can even make it you can make it extra scary if you do it like Scarlet Witch in Multiverse of Madness when she looks through the puddles and they have to like constantly cover them or mess with all the puddles. But like you can see bits and pieces of her in different puddles around the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you can really make this creepy if you wanted to.
Yeah, this is meant to, I think, have maximized madness.
And creepiness.
Yeah.
I like this.
Have fun taking a shower after this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's okay. We know what a water door is here, but apparently you can be trapped in a water prison. So she does have her own pocket dimension within the water.
Interesting.
Gotta move on down. You can. Oh, and if characters start shooting at her from far away, she's gonna be like, "Water door," and then away you go. Come with me.
Yeah, she does not want to be shot at. Which I can respect. I don't think anyone wants to get shot at.
Okay. This is just mean. This is a good like this first block here. This is a very good like, oh, hey, this is what you need to describe. Really you want your players to be like, we're the heroes. We have to save someone. And you just have a woman screaming as she's like crouched over in front of the water. Help my baby! He can't swim. You know, heroes eat that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Don't worry, ma'am. I'll save your child. It's like, oh, thank you, moron.
I will also say that this is one of the only adventures I've ever seen that has like a thing at the top. It has like a footnote that says, this booklet is only for the DM. If you're a player, do not read this. And I mean, that makes sense, but it's so funny to see like how many DMs, I'm sure players go out of their way to like read your DM's notes and what have you. But I don't know how many players are like, give me that. I want to see if what you're reading is true.
I feel like my players know better. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm reacting to something nonsensical they've done. And they're like, there's no way he could have had... They're like, there's no way he prepared that in a book. Because there's no way you could have reacted to that. And I'm like, it's true. There's absolutely no way I could have sat up at night and prepared for the nonsense that you pulled off. Got me there.
Ooh. I didn't realize until this section that there's more than one. I was thinking there was one, but like everybody here is already dead. Which, okay. Okay, so I guess this is spoiler territory for what's currently happening in Marvel Comics, but the new event is that Venom is everywhere because reasons. Listen, I love Venom, but this is stupid. Everybody in New York City has a symbiote now. But there's also a plague going around called zombiotes, where symbiotes can bite you and it'll kill you, but they can also just latch onto a corpse. So like heroes are finding ways to get the zombiotes off of people, but they don't know until that happens if the person that they saved in air quotes was a corpse already. So you keep having heroes be like, yes, oh, this guy's dead. Yes, this guy's dead. And then someone will be like, I live. And then they'll just get bit again. They'll be like, come on, man. So there's
This sounds like a terrible plot arc.
yeah, it's real bad right now. But having so many creatures in there like ups the ante of who you can trust and who you can't. You're going to end up making more corpses for sure.
Oh, especially if there's like a family of Shuigui somewhere and they start body snatching and shapeshifting.
Like sisters or something like that, since it's a predominantly female creature.
But no, I'm thinking within the party. You add in some mist, and then the party gets out of eye shot of each other. Yeah, they look like loved ones, so your party's tight. They start looking like other party members.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And even with this is like the encounter objective, the encounter becomes a tug of war of soul switching and body reclamation. Apparently when you're in the prison, you're basically dead in this little pocket dimension. So like the Shuiguis are grabbing people if they're already out there in a body that they switched. They're grabbing people, pulling them into the water doors, into the water prisons. Then you don't know who pops out. Maybe it's the Shuigui in your teammate's body.
Yep.
That adds a level of paranoia and body horror.
Woo! Woo!
That I love. Support.
This really makes me wish my group wasn't like so like good-hearted and trusting, because I didn't want to do this to them, but it would be so much fun.
Obliterate us.
Oh yeah. No, our party would never play again. It would be like, nope.
We will never recover from this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Your husband's gonna be the first one to die, and then we'll all fall for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that you guys know exactly the composition and how it's like how everything will crumble.
There's no way he could ever ignore. Help, my baby! He can't swim. There's no way.
No, but also it's only a DC 15 charisma check, and you know he doesn't roll anything under an 18 before adding his proficiency.
True.
Don't worry, folks. We'll find careful ways to introduce you to the horror that is a Shuigui. We'll slowly rock you into the sweet oblivion that is death.
So one say that after we already came up with like 4 ways to make it worse.
Oh, yeah. Just make it worse. So like when we were talking about scaling the combat, this has a guide where you should put 1 Shuigui per 4 to 6 adventurers. Again, if you want, this whole town's Shuiguis. This is where they live like now.
It's like 4 to 6. Give them a small society.
Listen, this is at least a winnable situation. There's I think he's a CR3 creature. It's not the Boggle, but it's something related to it. That literally kills you in your sleep if you sleep within like 6 miles of it for more than 4 days, and then it just takes your body. And you don't even know it's happening. At least the Shuigui, there's a chance that you can fight back if there's more than one of them.
It's not a good chance.
True.
Like, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. If the choice is to run or fight, I might suggest the run.
You're
It's
gonna have to
very
find
high
some
stakes.
way to like. The optimal scenario is if you're in like a high magic or high technology world, find some way that you can get this Shwegwe in an area that is so hot they cannot throw out water. Which most of you are
That's
not
a
going to find in
hell.
your worlds.
I was gonna say that's a hell of a request.
You gotta banish them to the plane of fire, basically.
I'm picturing
Yeah,
I'm
like
picturing a tiefling just hellish rebuking them over and over and over.
it's like I'm not done rebuking you.
Stop it!
Stop it!
Said no.
Okay. And then it just says whenever they drown and possess a body, they come out of their water prison. So like what we said before, like they can grab one of your party members, pull them on down, switch places with them, and now they're like, "Oh no, man, it was real rough in there." And your players are gonna be like, "Good job," and then they go to slap him on the back, and the Shwegway's like, "Ha, you too."
Oh man.
Yep.
But that'll instantly. I do hope. We mentioned early on about players figuring out what's going on and kind of throwing different challenges at players. I would hope that the players in that situation realize, hey, the nature of this thing is really weird. We should be extra careful.
Mm.
Because I know there are parties out there that will just go, well, we didn't see it, so it should be safe to go to sleep. Huh? No. No, put somebody on watch. No one is sleeping.
Mm-mm. Nope. Also, I've been trying to figure out why they keep saying "see playable Shwegwe." That's because there's stats for when it switches bodies with you, so that you can do things. You have like limited. It's not necessarily like, for some reason, my example is always the big Bomberman games like Bomberman Ultra and Bomberman Rush, where when you die, you're like in a flying saucer outside of the arena, and you can throw shit into the arena to get in the way of the other players. It's not quite like that, but sort of the same idea. But one of the cool things they say is since you have the Shwegwe's body, and even though it's like I don't know what Captain Ginyu's is called, but Eno's is called Shintenshin when you switch bodies. But that same
His
idea.
body change technique. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take over another corpse and switch places with it. So if there's more dead people, that's the things that can happen in this one encounter are insane.
So you're just aiming to switch places with a dead person.
Yup.
Okay. All right.
Oh wait, though. There's like multiple ways for PCs to get their bodies back.
It seems like they're fair.
Hmm.
They're being fair about that.
Yeah. That makes it like so much lower stakes though.
Also, you can take control of constructs.
It seems like they do get a little wacky there. I don't know.
I feel like the stakes are much lower now, seeing how many ways you can do that besides it just being fun. But imagine someone in your party is stuck as a Shwegwe forever, and like that becomes their new character, where like you have to constantly find them new bodies because the bodies keep deteriorating over time. That could be a
Oh,
fun
yeah.
mechanic in and of itself.
But it would have to be, you would have to really apply that to a character. I feel like that would find it morally reprehensible to do so.
Ooh.
Like that's what you hit the former paladin with.
Oh,
I like where you're going. I
that's
like
mean.
this. I like this.
You know, that's what you hit the former life cleric with. They have to take a life to stay alive.
I also like that in the reclaiming rights section, they're like, oh, if this Shuigui drops to 0, they get kicked out of the body. If they get dispelled for evil and good, or turn undead, they just get pushed out of the body. That just means that's a corpse and that like collapses. You still have to throw the corpse into the water prison. So that means you can't affect it. So your teammates, if they know one of you is stuck in a water prison, they're like chucking corpses into a hole and hoping it comes out. That's even more terrifying. How do you know it's just one person was in that water prison?
Oh yeah, you might just you might just have people popping out of water prisons all over the place.
I need this body. Hold on.
Right?
I need that body. Hold on. Just shoving it into water.
It's like, wait, no, not him. Give me that one.
This is how you extend your campaign. BBEG. Corpse gets thrown in the water. Shuigui takes it over. Now it's even more powerful than before. This isn't even my final form! Ah, the good stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Flavor. It's definitely the flavor you didn't know you were asking for.
Dang. I thought we were going to run through these quick, but no, we're having too much fun.
Well, let's try and make headway. Let's try and make some headway.
Oh. However, when you push the Shuigui out of the target's body, the target then makes death saves to determine whether their soul remains tethered to their bodies long enough for the body to be returned to its owner. So you can be unconscious or dead. Or not dead. You can be unconscious without a soul. That has some strong implications. But you can't use Revivify and Resurrection while the corpse is in the water prison. Interesting.
They can stabilize soul's body and use healing methods to restore hit points. However, the body remains in a until it occupies the body again. It's an empty husk.
It's not Ferris Bueller's Day Off. What's the movie where they carry the dead grandpa around?
Weekend at Bernie's.
You can Weekend at Bernie's your party members until you can find their soul.
I hate it here.
Yo,
I can see
the
it.
shenanigan?
Yeah. There's only madness and shenanigans can occur in that situation. It looks like they're also saying, though, if Shugua possesses every character's body and swims to land, the characters remain in water until they are able to target a different victim. Oh, so you're stuck in there in a campaign. They're saying as a campaign hook, if it gets all your players, they're stuck in there until it kills again.
Until they kill... That could... Oh, man. That's a crazy idea for how you start your campaign. All of you have to kill people or have bodies dumped nearby enough that you can steal those bodies, and then you're corpse puppeting. You're your own juncture. That's Okay, you're your own juncture, and you're chasing after the people who stole your bodies. That's your campaign. You're going all across the world trying to figure out where your body is now so you can steal it back.
Wow.
That is a fun adventure to me. I'm kind of in. Um, I want to see that because you would have your players create their characters, and I would make I would say that the characters start at level like 8, 9, right?
Mm.
I want them to have a high level character. I want them to feel like, oh man, I'm making this high level character, so that when I inevitably go, oh cool, so that your body is stolen, they could just go, what? I want to hear the gears turn as they realize that their level 8, 9 characters are not their characters. As I hand them brand new character sheets. Because that's the only way I can do it. I have to hand them new character sheets and be like, so this is what you really are right now.
Or alternatively, you make it extra hilarious. They keep all their skills in regardless of what their new body is. So they're like a rabbit now. Instead, it could be a barbarian.
God. Oh my god.
Because it said you could be tiny as well.
That is absolute madness. That is absolute madness, sir.
The most
I
powerful
kinda
ant
like it.
in the universe.
Oh my goodness. Just that you would be the chicken without the but stuck in a permanent polymorph.
Oh, the chicken's no longer a chicken.
Anti-magic zones.
I love
Yep.
that you were like, I was like, wait, I probably noticed that he was a chicken. I just wouldn't have, he wasn't a chicken anymore. I just wouldn't have said anything.
That's
one of
not
my
a chicken
favorite.
anymore.
It was in a cage, and then the anti-magic field went up, and suddenly there was a man in a cage, and like
Huh.
nobody said anything.
Huh, that's exactly where our chicken was. I'm not gonna say anything about this. I don't want to call attention to something I shouldn't see.
Totally normal occurrence, man.
Absolutely fundamentally normal.
I mean, to be fair, you did know he was a person that got turned into a chicken, so it's
That's
not
true.
the most earth-shattering thing that's ever happened.
True. We did do that.
I love how our wizard's soul comment was like, yeah, but can I turn him back into a chicken?
He wants to know how to get his pet chicken back, and I respect it. I respect it. Eyes on the prize.
Yeah.
Eyes on the prize. They're gonna find a true polymorph potion, and it's gonna be over. They're gonna be like, oh, you thought you were safe. We're going back to that town. What for? We need to fix something we need to right a wrong. Turns him back into a chicken. Welcome back.
Don't worry about it.
It's like, what?
I got plans for that chicken.
Because that's when they roll nothing but d20s. Like, oh, nat 20s. That's when they only roll nat 20s on, like, every check.
Yep. It's literally that and any history check I ever ask for. These guys have done zero of the research that their goddesses explicitly ask them to do, but they roll 20s on history checks. So who needs to do research, I guess?
They're like, study? Psh, nat 20. I'm just genius levels. Just.
I'm just a smart man.
Like all your DCs are 35 now.
Oh, it's weird that the story seeds come after the adventure, but these are the story seeds they mentioned before. So 3 ways to get this started. Okay, if I was writing it, I think I would start with the story seeds. But that's just me. boat of fishermen disappeared. So you could make the whole boat.
Ooh.
They're all
Shipwreck
Shui
boat?
Gui now.
Your boat's been shipwrecked. People are disappearing. You got to figure out whether or not the rest of your crew is still your crew, as well as other people who were adventurers on board.
You could even have. Oh, I forgot what the name of the game is. I wish I remembered the name of the game. There is a game where you have to. It's a murder mystery game, so it's basically a puzzle game where your character has a stopwatch and you can go to the boat, and when you hit the stopwatch, you can watch the last 5 seconds of someone's life. And you have to piece together how everyone on the boat died just by knowing. I think you only know the captain's name at the beginning, and like that some people died on this boat. So you could have like a murder mystery here, trying to figure out, first of all, how many people are actually dead? How many of these people walking around are real? And then like who killed who? Maybe it started with the fishermen on the boats killing each other.
Wow.
You know, you could even if you wanted to, because I always want to add them because I love them.
Three witnesses.
Yeah, but
I thought so.
you have to find the item that the gray witness wanted to help them piece together what they were missing from death. So it's a gray witness who can't tell you the full picture because there's something missing in the picture. And tasking your players to find those items and keep an eye out for those things as they're going along to piece together other things would be a lot of fun.
I think it's Voyage of the Obra Dinn. I think I could be wrong though. I know it's Obra Dinn, but I don't know what comes before that. And I know there's a preposition.
Fair.
This next one is the child one that they used at the beginning, which realistically, this is just the easiest way to draw an adventurers. A child's in danger,
Yeah.
gotta save him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the easiest one to hit people with the crying mother, please help me, save my baby, blah blah blah.
Because you don't need any kind
Now-
of lead-in for that. It's just there's a lady bawling her eyes out and screaming into the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is basically you just have a guy in town and his wife went missing. He just
I
wants his
like the
wife back.
missing wife one. I like this one because you could easily have a doctor in the town who cares about the person be like, hey, listen, I'll pay you guys to just please watch him for a night and help me keep him inside so they don't arrest him. And so your party's first night is trapped in this house. Like they're all, even if it's like the first session, they're all trapped in this guy's house, watching this guy go insane, thinking he's seeing his wife all over the place. And then the party catching glimpses of what they think is his wife.
Oh. Yep.
I was thinking that
In the bathtub.
Yeah, it would only be it would be any standing water.
Yeah.
You would have to be very aware of.
Toilets, all the sinks are full. This guy just keeps filling the bathtub. And I was thinking, oh, he's clearly a Shui Gui, but no. What if he was just a human? His wife is the Shui Gui before she became a Shui Gui, and she was just like, I want a younger, hotter body. So he's trying to get a younger, hotter body to dump in the water so his wife can steal the body.
Ooh.
Oh.
The flavor.
Damn.
Oh, or maybe that's their thing. Like each Shui Gui in this family of I don't know. You can make them have whatever kind of birth you want. Maybe they're in a clutch of
I feel
eggs
like
is
they're
how they
praying,
come out.
I would give them almost praying mantis level. Because they're explicitly female, I would give them almost praying mantis level of like execution of mate.
Oh, you can have like each one of them in the group is looking for specific like body types.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one only wants to grab buff chicks. This one maybe this one just wants to be a dude and never had a chance to be a dude. Another one only wants the most beautiful like raven-haired body to take over.
I like that.
And that can confuse the party if you introduce them at different times. They'll be like, it only attacked this person last time. What's happening here? And then you just get like assaulted by multiple corpse puppets, and you're like, what's happening? Oh god, there's more than one.
Wow.
I want them to stress. I want them to sit there and I want them to scratch their head and wonder what's happening.
It's good. This is good. And now we get to the appendix with monsters and NPCs. So this is the first guy you run. I wasn't expecting him to be a CR3. I thought he was just going to be a dude. I mean, he's still just a dude. Well, no, CR3 is not just a dude.
Yeah.
They're like a not even like a mid boss. They're like a sub boss.
Oh yeah.
Like they've got they're named slightly larger health bar NPC character in like Streets of Rage or Final Fight.
Oh.
I like though that he has a grapple and 2 melee like it's a total of 3 melee attacks or 2 attacks and a grapple. I like that.
I scrolled down to the Dissident Watchman, and they had mentioned before you can throw this guy in there, and they're like, we just want you to know he's just a dick. He's not possessed. He doesn't work with the Shwegwe. He doesn't care about them. He's just a dick.
Right, guy really has no reason to do this other than he wants to.
He is not interested in anything the characters have to offer. Man just wants to watch the world drown. Yo.
Guy's really a piece of shit. I do like this though, that the fact that they have a grapple means they're trying to drown you. They have the ability to drown someone. I love that someone just like all of a sudden gets grabbed by the I'm gonna mispronounce it. I'm gonna say Luo Yang.
It's pretty close.
Okay.
That's not bad.
They get grabbed by Luo Yang and literally get dragged to buckets of water and just submerged. Like they're getting waterboard treatment from this monster in the middle of a fight, and they have to fight to resist this. This thing has 17 strength. This thing is strong.
There's also in the role playing section, they're saying like his spirit is trapped in the water prison, so there's a chance he can possess someone else, and like be like, guys, I need you to know, I put one of your friends in the water prison. And they'll be like, what the fuck did you just say to me? But
right, like, huh?
This is the cool part. If he does actually die for real, his family puts a bounty on each of the party members.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Wow.
I'm also imagining. So, here's a really twisted one. The Shwegwe is the mother of all of these Luo Yangs, and she's essentially sending her sons out to bring brides back, so she has a new beautiful body.
Ooh.
So all of these adventurers and people are coming in fitting different types that she likes and maybe she wants for this go around, and she's using their sons to attract these mates so that she can steal the bodies on their wedding night. And finally, someone wants to investigate it. So each of these, so your player is assigned a bride candidate and has to make sure their bride candidate is still their
Alive.
bride candidate. Yeah.
It's
by
like
the end of
that
the
particular village has one of those ceremonies where multiple people get married at once. So like you're there for the festival. They hired you to protect people for the festival. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Oh, I like that.
So you get
Yeah,
a
and
little
everybody
murder
kind of just
mystery.
chalks it up to like, oh, flighty heroes being jerks. Love them and leave them. They don't realize what's happening for like the longest time.
Yep.
Oh, this is good. This is good stuff.
But we do get to her stat block.
Finally, we can look at the Shuigui. Yep.
Yeah. Shuigui looks, it's an undead. I would honestly, just looking at the initial stat block, I would put them in a ghoul classification, maybe a little slightly higher for like, but I would give them a turn undead resistance.
That's one of the only ways that you can free them.
True. I was thinking.
I would. Go ahead.
So on the previous stat block, it says when they're possessing someone, that person becomes immune to poison. And I was thinking that's actually a pretty good way to figure out if someone is possessed or not. Like if you have like poison on a dagger people or something, or like you flick a little bit of poison in someone's eye, and they're like, "What are you doing to me?" And they don't blink, you'll be like, "Oh no! Oh no!"
Or if you have a player who's trying to figure out if someone is, and they poison their food. But because they know they can dispel the poison, like if they start to be like, "Oh my god, we got poison, somebody's attacking us," they can cast Cure Poison.
They have the antidote on hand. Because like a regular person probably gonna die. Just a commoner. But if all of a sudden this commoner's like, "That was delicious, can I have another spoonful?" You're like, "Oh no."
You're like, "Haha, you wait, bitch. Get out of this body." So let's see what we got. So resistances to acid, fire, lightning, thunder, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks. Wait, oh no. Resistance to all that and those as well from non-magical. Oh, jeez.
Immune to a lot of things.
To cold necrotic.
But those pretty much the condition immunities are just because it's undead. That's pretty. Well, immune to prone, you can't knock it down. Oh, that's weird.
It's water.
Oh, true. I mean, it's still got a. Oh, you can role play that. So cool, because it's basically it's a corpse puppet. So like you go to knock it down, and like its legs crack and the bones snap in the wrong way, and then it just stands back up, and like its whole head turns around, and you're like, oh no!
Or like the bones crack at like the joint that you try to trip them from, and you just watch the water snap it back in like new tendons.
Yep.
Well, let's see. This thing is getting dark vision. It's got a pretty decent passive perception.
Detect life.
I would say, yeah. I was gonna say it's got detect life, so that's kind of scary. This thing has a pretty decent passive perception for a monster, but as well has detect life. 4 miles of knowing you're coming means it could plan ahead well before anyone else could figure out it was around.
And like you gotta go pretty far to get out of that range. Like it's gonna find you.
They are bound to water if they haven't stolen a body, which is fine. They do
Oh,
have
they specifically
disadvantage.
say that it doesn't have disadvantage on attack rolls, ability rolls, or whatever because it's underwater. I mean, it is a water spirit, so I would hope it didn't. But I'm glad that
Yeah.
they pointed that out.
They're able to move through other creatures and objects like difficult terrain. They take 5 force damage if they end it towards an object. Okay.
Oh wow, it has a lot of abilities in here. Jeez. It
It's
doesn't
got a
say it has
baneful.
any multi abilities though. So just doing one thing at a time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got a baneful touch, which looks like a regular unarmed strike with some necrotic damage. Okay. We've got horrify. It's a ranged attack. Okay, so it's a
Oh.
psychic damage though.
Does very
Interesting.
little damage, but it gives them disadvantage on their next T-Shun save. Okay, I'm gonna be mean here, and like I would say the multi-action for this guy is that Shuigui can at least horrify and T-Shen in the same turn.
I would say they can baneful and horrify in the same turn, and then T-Shen separately.
Hmm.
Only because you're essentially losing your character. I feel like getting hit with a debuff for the same thing that you're gonna lose your character for is kind of rough. And that's
Okay.
coming from me.
It doesn't say that it has a time, so I guess that fits in. It could even horrify a bunch of you in a go before it tries to T-Shen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm imagining this thing is really just like plotting when it wants to take you.
It's gonna horrify the people that have the body type it likes. I would extend the range of horrify beyond 5 feet as well. He's just looking at you. I don't usually stare at people 5 feet away from them.
You might. Never know. So we finally get some rules for T-Shen. It's a charisma save. Interesting. So warlocks, paladins, bards, and sorcerers
Yeah.
seem like they're going to be A-okay against this thing. 5 feet who cannot be seen has... Okay, so if they can't be seen by it, it takes disadvantage on the attempt at it.
So it needs to see into their eyes. So like the one with the wife that the husband keeps complaining that like he just wants to see his wife's eyes. That's a good way to give it away. They should at least say that, like describe
I just
what's
want to
happening.
stare into my wife's more beautiful eyes one more time.
Yep.
Please. It's like, nope.
That is the one thing you cannot do.
It's very like, don't turn back and look at your wife until you get out of Hades. It's
Yeah.
it's literally that.
Oh, you're trapped in the water prison while it has your body. So interesting. Oh, there's a block for that, but it does seem like is the water prison the whole? No, 5-foot radius invisible prison. So you're. I mean, I would at
You're
least
trapped,
describe it
but
as like. It's got to look like I can't think of the name of the jutsu, but it's the one that Kisame uses all the time. He just makes a bubble of water like that's attached to his hand, and he just puts you in the bubble. So I gotta at least imagine it might be translucent because it's water, but like you gotta at least feel like you're drowning in there.
almost imagining that it's coming up like a reverse teardrop. Like it's almost like a bulb coming out of a puddle. And no one else can
Ooh.
see it, but you can only see it because it says it's invisible. You can only see it in reflections of water that aren't currently bubbles or water prisons. So like you can spot it if you catch a glimpse of someone's in a reflection somewhere. However, dispelling it means you have to get them out of that person's body.
Wow.
Like that'll be the mechanic during the fight. These guys have utilized magical darkness to surround you. So they're really trying to mask where they are, and they're gonna swap bodies with people. Yeah. Oh, but it does get forced out of the body if it's dropped to 0 hit points, or forced out by dispel evil and good. So protection from good and evil is actually really helpful here, because it will help you actually keep this thing from possessing you.
Apparently, another Shuigui can swap places with them via T-Shen. So you could potentially be having a battle where like you're about to defeat this one that's taken over one of your party members, and then another Shuigui a little bit further back that's still got more HP switches places with it. You won't know, but they'll know. And you're like, why won't this guy die? And turns out you've just been fighting like 14 Shuigui.
It's like, they keep getting buff. It's like, nope. They're a different Shuigui. Forlorn weeping. It cries inconsolably. Other creatures that hear it must make a wisdom save, and on a failed save, they must move as close to it as possible.
Ooh.
But on a successful save, they take 10 psychic damage. Wow.
Oof.
That is a much weaker version of the Banshee's Wail. Which, the Banshee's Wail is same distance, I think around the same save, but if you fail, you just drop to 0 hit points immediately.
It's scary, too, because it says it's on a success. Which is rare that you take anything on a successful save.
Yeah, you take damage on a success. On a fail, you move closer. So basically, they're saying getting close to it is a lose condition.
But that's a good way to teach your players, hey, if you're going to get in melee combat with this thing, be aware what it wants. The water prisons, which are on a successful T-Shen, switches bodies. They're in prison, a 5-foot invisible prison. They can see outside the prison, call out from the prison, use baneful touch, and sling sediment, but they cannot leave. They can only repossess their body or someone else's when fight. So you might accidentally touch your friend and swap out their body if they can't see your prison.
Ooh.
Also, but that could be a way that your players tell them.
Right. There's also no there's no specific thing for sling sediment, so all I'm thinking, obviously, the obvious choice is you get 5 feet in range, a water prison, and all of a sudden, pocket sand in your face. That's how they get you. Pocket sand, and then you put your arms out like, what the hell, and you touch the prison.
But imagine also your bar. I'm sorry, I was drinking water with
sorry.
You almost took me out. But I'm just imagining also they realize that's not your body, and so the Shuigui's forgotten where your prison is. It gets slammed into your prison. It turns around, and you just pocket sand your own body. Like,
you swap out and you're like, oh, that hurts.
It's like, oh, blind. But he's in there. Like, what are you
Also,
saying?
this sounds like a one-way trip to the most ridiculous PC body swap scenario.
Oh,
It's
we
like
are.
Oh,
everyone's bumbling around.
We're playing
Everyone
musical
ends up in someone
chairs.
else's body. Yeah.
yes.
You're playing musical chairs 100%. And I'm having my players give each other's character sheets. I'm like, no, you are officially that player until you guys swap bodies back.
Your own personality, all of their traits.
Mm-hmm.
This is so much fun. This is hella fun.
They get a water door. No target within 5 feet. They just create murky pools of water. Okay, interesting. They said they're murky, so automatically you're looking for dirty water pools.
Mm.
That's going to be your telltale sign that something's a little off.
Not that they'll know that.
Yeah.
No. But maybe they'll start to figure it out.
Oh, I was thinking you'd have to be underneath it, but no, you just have to be within 5 feet of one, so they can literally like reach out and grab your leg.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is like Dead Marshes territory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Uh, the door can't be dispelled by dispel magic, but it can be destroyed by create destroy water. Once again, create destroy water coming in real clutch against the fuck. Like, that's probably also, like I said, the first body it wants to take out.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully your players are smart enough to realize, like, hey, this thing loves water. It's going to stop the people who can destroy its sources.
Yeah.
And it has call from the depths. When they sense the presence of a sleeping living creature within 4 miles that is not undead, they can call the sleeping target through their dream.
Oh God.
A protection from evil and good and magic circle spell cast of the target prevent this call. So you need protection from good and evil and a magic circle to prevent this thing from calling you. The target, as long as this call persists, the target sleepwalks to the body of water that it calls from. It can last for an hour, and the target gains no benefit from its rest. So you can just be disrupted in your sleep and called to a lake to be swapped. That is
Wow.
scary. That is
You
petrifying.
just get up and like your party. You have your person on watch, and then you have other people who aren't on watch, and then whoever isn't on watch is taking their nap, and all of a sudden they just get up and start walking, and the person on watch is like, "You going for a walk?" You just keep walking, and they're like, "Oh well, that was weird."
So you know what I would do to really set this up for people? Oh, what up, man?
What's up? Clubs, hello! We're talking about schwagways. Would you like to talk about schwagways?
No, but I think one way I would set this up for sure is have the party when they get to the area before they know anything about what they're dealing with, run into a merchant selling tents. And he's like, I'm selling special tents. It'll keep your kids safe. It'll keep your wife home. It'll keep your husband happy. You need to buy one of my special tents. And the tents are blessed with protection from evil and a magic circle spell. But your party's
Oh
going
my
to be
God.
like, I'm
The
not buying
hell?
a fucking tent from this weird ass guy. You know, like, why would I buy
Yeah.
a tent? And so they shove, they blow him off for the most part. Or maybe somebody does buy a tent. You know what I mean? And that person
Yeah.
doesn't realize that, like, they've protected themselves. But you have that weird little, like, MacGuffin in there. I think that could be fun.
They wake up, everyone else is gone, they follow the footprints, they all lead to the water. None of their friends are there. It's like they just walked right
Yeah.
in. Then the adventurers have to come in. What happened here?
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, no, I like this.
You could even, if you really wanted to sell that particular scenario, there's like an island in the middle of this lake, and that's where the lady is screaming, "My baby!"
Mm.
I know in my heart of hearts, if that scenario I just described exactly happened, there was a lady on that island that screamed, "My baby!" and Grimalkin was there, he would just jump right into the water. 100%.
And that's why he would die. Again, I really do want to take your players for a ride one day.
Gonna take you
And
for a
just
ride.
oh, 100%. I 100% want to take it for a ride. They will feel the full extent of of me DMing because I feel like they need it. I feel like they need to feel what it's like to have somebody else DM. Or you know what? Have clubs do it. I would love for clubs to do it. I'd love for them to join like our old man game. Uh, and just like put them in that dungeon then that we did in Beckme. That we it was literally a level 1 dungeon. I'll tell you this quick story. It was a level 1 dungeon. And in that level 1 dungeon, we encountered creatures that obliterated us in various ways. They could teleport through mirrors.
Oh my god.
We had to learn that, but they were alien creatures. But we also had to go through their mirrors to get to them to kill them. It was a whole wacky ordeal. Was it Mr. Mir? No, not Mr. Mir. The alien ship, the one that we flooded, we had to reflood it. We got in there because we turned off a floodgate, and we had to reflood this labyrinth so no one else could go in there. Yeah, now Vin's right. Yeah. Basically, it was hell. It was like a level 1 adventure.
I was just thinking of that BX adventure I sent you a while back. It's supposed to be a level 1 adventure, and they're like, oh, when you walk into this room, roll 1d100 skeletons to find out how many enemies are in there. And I was like, 1d100?
Just die. Just die. Hey, you're gonna walk in this room and die. So, have fun. Yeah, aberrant reflections, yes. I would love for us to
Did they
look at
deal
that
psychic
on
damage?
No, this was just hell. You know what? We should look at it one day on Roundtable. Like look at old like adventures and puzzles.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
And
I definitely,
really
we will eventually, for sure, get out of stuff that's 5e. Like, I want to run through some character options for Troika. Like, that one I was telling you about. That were how to be different kinds of chickens. Your backgrounds.
Oh, hell yes.
I just want to run the commoner background. That's all I want.
Commoner
Right.
background. Mwah. Mwah. Homebrew perfection.
So then, if you don't know, there is one of the homebrews that literally shouldn't exist but does, and in a weird way, I'm glad does exist. It's called Commoner, and it literally, the entire thing is, you are just a person. You are not special. You do not think you are special. There is nothing special about you. You are an adventurer now, and that's all there is to you. And in my head, I'm like, you shouldn't have to give this to a player. But this is exactly how they should. This is exactly how they should see their character, no matter what their background is. Like, no matter who you are, you should absolutely realize you are nobody. But like, they get buffs to being nobody. It's like you are so unaware that the enemies don't believe you're there to fight them. They're like, ain't no way. Get out of here.
I have like a half of a plan for a one shot for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That I really, really want to do for us at some point.
Yeah.
Sounds like good premium content.
I'm down with that.
That sounds like real good premium content.
Oh, there is sediment sling in here, but it's in the playable version. So when you swap the body, you have a new stat block. Oh, this is one of those times where you get the abject pleasure of handing your players a sheet and being like, "This is you now. You're gonna have to learn to live with it."
You get the touch. You can swap bodies. And you
Pocket
can...
Sand does 1d4 plus 5 damage, man.
Interesting. So you can just fling sand.
That's really powerful. That's the most powerful Pocket Sand I've ever seen in my life.
This is like
Have
Final
you
Fantasy
gotten sand in your eye?
Yeah, this is Final Fantasy Tactics Throw Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, no. This is literally like I'm pelting you with a fucking rock.
Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks, man.
Also, I have a video coming out that's the next Supplementals where I give a shout out to Clubs, but he doesn't have any social media he wants to share, but he's awesome. You should go find him.
He's like DM Lacara. He doesn't exist on the internet. But when you talk to them, you get nothing but the good stuff.
Mhm.
He's also my DM for my regular Thursday night games that I've been in now for 6 years.
Damn.
Yeah, I think 6 years.
It's not one running game, but
but it's the same group of people. I mean, Okami, you were part of the group.
Yep.
It's grown and shrunk and reformed as people have joined and come in and out. But
Bacon was also part of the group at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's where we got the Dragon Lords campaign. He was the one that ran it. Great mind for TTRPGs, and it's definitely introduced me to the wide world of TTRPGs. He's now trying to get me into Warhammer stuff.
So Clubs actually sent me a message the other day, and he said
he tried to get you, didn't he?
He goes, so you have a lot of terrain, right? Have you ever thought of running a tabletop game, say like Mordheim? But he didn't say, have you thought of? He said, so when are you going to run a war game like Mordheim? Believe me, the thought is definitely up in there. And I was like, I've been doing that because if you buy a 40k starter set, so this is, I guess, neither here nor there, but there's a very stupid thing where if you buy a starter kit for Warhammer 40k, there are not enough units in a starter kit to play a 40k game. You use the rules of 40k to play a game of Kill Team, which is an entirely different war game. It is so stupid. Just give me enough minis that I can play a game.
It's like hot dogs and hot dog buns.
Yep. 10 hot dogs, 8 hot dog buns. Every time.
So infuriating!
Every time. They know what they're doing, that's why.
They've got us.
Yeah. Yeah, what else can you do?
You have your usual T-Shen. You have Water Prison, which is the same idea, but then you get this new ability, Shackled to Cage, which is that if a Shuigui is within 5 feet of you, so like say they've just swapped bodies with you, you can essentially use your horrifying vision on the Shuigui that's trying to steal someone else's body, and it gives advantage to the person they're trying to steal the body of. So you want to lure people to you with your pocket sand so that you can try to save them.
Come here, quick. Trying to save your life.
I'm not going to lie. If pocket sand was just flying out of nowhere, because you can't see the rest of whatever's in the prison, you just see pocket sand going off. Like a glitch in a video game. Like it just lost the rest of the animation and it's just the end. Like just the helper sprite. I'd be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd immediately be concerned. I'm like, whoa. Why is that? Why is this happening? I would have way too many questions to be calm.
There would be so many hellos.
Uh-huh.
Hello? Hello? It says you have 40 feet of flying, but you're stuck in your 5-foot prison, so do you really need the 40 feet of flying?
You have it as a precaution. Like, it's there. Do you need it? Probably not, but it's there.
Oh, maybe
It's
through some weird effects, somebody has found a way to push your water prison like back into a waterfall for whatever reason. Then maybe that comes into play. Other than that, I don't see it happening.
pushed your water prison into. That's a very, very specific scenario. I like that is the likelihood that that's going to occur in a game is so astronomically low.
The only way that can happen, I didn't think of this when I said it, but in the campaign that I'm running, each of my players got to pick like one cool magic item when they started. And there's a scene in Goblin Slayer where they're getting absolutely destroyed by a troll. And they're like, do we have any? There's no ace up our sleeve. We don't have anything. And Goblin Slayer himself is like, I have one trick. I don't know if it's going to work, but I can't do anything else. And there's like blood pouring out of his helmet because all of his ribs are broken, his innards are smashed. And he's like, I got one thing left. And he pulls out this scroll and he opens it. And his scroll was a gate spell to the bottom of the
Oh, the
ocean.
ocean, yes.
So he like
Yes.
shoots super high pressure water out. And when we started the campaign, Jack DT was like, I want that. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, we're definitely going to have to lessen whatever it's supposed to be doing. You can't have all that. But he has
hey,
a we literally called it the scroll of hydro pump, and when he opens it, it shoots out a pressurized blast of water that is tied to like a reservoir, a pressurized reservoir that his mentor has in his hometown. And like I'm thinking that's the only way. It's gonna push you back and it's gonna deal bludgeoning damage.
That's actually an interesting way though to accommodate something like that. I mean, again, I think I would have a lot of difficulty including it in my game, but I think that's a cool way to do it.
Had to come up with something. Out of everyone, I feel like every time he's about to get killed in our campaign, I think, oh, is this when he uses his trump card? And he never uses his trump card.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, it wasn't her starting item, but Valley of Ageria got the charm of the Tower of Storms, so she could cast Lightning Bolt 3 times within her lifetime. She's already used it twice.
Oh damn.
But yeah, we are done with Caged Fathoms. I'm gonna say, let's not do another adventure tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna have to duck out. I am passing
No,
out.
I think this was good. I think we'll go through the other two next week, and
Mm.
I think we've got an idea now, how to go through adventures.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
I
good, though.
think it's the same thing as like classes when we started. We were like, oh, there's a lot to do. How can we make this easier? How can we make this better? This is a new topic for us. So yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot of skimming, kind of keynoting.
And I
think you did
think
a good job.
also if we do another adventures, I think almost everything has 2 now, so it'll also be caught up. Maybe we adopt that in the future as well. If we do a new kind of topic, we'll just do 2 in a row
Mm-hmm. That's a cool idea.
so that it's kind of like caught up. And that way we don't have to trouble people with the poll either. I have notes on this poll, but yeah, I know what the next poll is going to be after this. But yeah, I think we'll take
No too much.
the other 2. That makes my life easier too, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah,
do
no, I
anything
think
extra, basically.
It'll make everybody's life simple and clean.
But if you guys would like to pick up this adventure for yourselves rather than having to listen to us look through it, I mean, you're welcome to listen to us look through it as many times as you want. I will never say no to views. Just it's not going to happen. You can check the description below. I put a link to it. I'm going to try to do that for as many of the adventures that I have because I don't think I have any bookmarks for adventures. They're all PDFs or Word documents or spreadsheets or what have you. Oh, the only thing I didn't get to show you for this particular one, give me 1 second. I think I can bring it up like this. Can I open this as a PDF? Let's see.
Is it the token?
Yeah. Ugh, I have to become... Nope, not happening, bro. 1 sec. I can do this instead. This one comes with a token, and I will just switch the window. This one? Okay. That's a no. Whatever. I will just switch to the monitor then. Ha-ha! It comes with a Shea token, which is basically just that picture of the drowning lady that you can use if you're going to do this virtual tabletop style. You could also print it out, but it's probably not going to print at the same size. That's something I've talked with Grim a lot about. A lot of the people who are like, oh, you can use this map either on your VTT or you can print it out. 9 times out of 10, your printer at home is not going to print it at the correct scale. And sometimes it prints it in like many, many pages to finish off, and each page will be at a different scale, which is infuriating.
It throws me for an entire loop. Because I'm like, who did you not check any dimensions before you started printing this?
Like, you're supposed to be smart.
I trusted you.
I trusted you.
Never trust anyone on the internet.
Seriously.
Except us.
Yeah, except us.
We're the only people you
Trust
can
the round table because it's round and therefore we all cancel out each other's bad parts. Yay!
Circular logic.
Circular logic.
Alright, guys. Good night. It was fun as always.
Good night, dear Lacara.
Good night. Good night to all of you out there. Again, you can grab this adventure if you'd like. You can check the description on YouTube, on Twitch. I can't pin it for some reason, but if you watch this VOD, you will be able to see the link that I posted, both the YouTube redirect, which is incredibly long for no reason, and then the regular one. But in the future, I will do my best to link to all of them. I'm not 100% sure if all of them I will be able to find the original like link for. Some of them came from like Kickstarters and stuff. But if they are available, I will share them with you so you can go check them out yourselves, grab the tokens from them, grab them stat blocks, and if they are, some of them are for free, some of them I actually did pay for at some point. You can also support their creators because on both DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG, I believe, you can buy the same thing multiple times so that you can just keep giving the author more and more money.
Yes,
so go support them.
And if you enjoyed hearing Okami talk about things tonight, come support Okami whenever you can. You can find him here on this channel. If you're on Twitch, not so much on YouTube, but you will find his content on the channel link below. You'll hear me pop in there every once in a while. We did a very fun run through of Zivator's. Was it the Infinity War? No,
Yeah.
I'm blanking. Yeah,
We did
okay,
Infinity War. Ooh, speaking of that, I booted up the latest version that released. Me and Jack DT played some more of that, and we would love to just play through all the things. We also found a way to soft lock it, so that video is going to come out on on Saturday, and I'm hoping Zivator's like, "What'd y'all do?" And I can be like, "I actually left this whole section in the video, so hopefully this helps figure out how I broke your game, and I apologize in advance for it."
No, this is what we do. It's like we're at work all over again.
I know.
Welcome back to work. But like I said, you can find Okami here. Plays a whole bunch of games, streams a bunch of different things. He has clerical streams, which are Magic the Gathering streams. I hope that when he gets a chance to do some cool cockatree streams, he hits me up. You'll probably see me pop up on one of those. We haven't done one of those in a while, I know.
That's
But I know
true.
you've been busy as hell. And you'll find him there, though, all over the internet. So always keep an eye out. Subscribe so that you can get the information and know that he's doing the things on the interwebs.
And you guys can check out DM Shin's content too. Doesn't post as often, but he has been streaming pretty regularly. You can get both those links, and I believe more, in the description of this video. On YouTube. Sorry for those of you on Twitch. That's not how VODs work.
I have been streaming again. I will be streaming tomorrow. We have been streaming Marvel's Capcom 2. And I do have a video coming out. It's just some gameplay content of a 1st to 10 that I did against somebody in some casual matches. Hopefully going to start a series of me playing people who are clearly playing top tier characters against me playing a Mingo. And just seeing how that goes. It's definitely interesting. It's definitely was fun to play and came to me today. So look out for that video coming out this week. It's just going to be, like I said, some straight gameplay content to fill in your background noise. I know Okami will watch it in 2 years, so I will get his commentary.
I'm getting close. I thought I made it past the 10th month mark, and then I realized I must have passed that threshold where YouTube is now counting this 10 months again, and I was like, I want to be free! I was catching up for a little while.
Your stuff that was 10 months ago is now 14 months ago. You're in the new 10-month category, oh god.
Oh, I just want to be free. But yeah, I'll watch your stuff eventually.
No.
If it's longer than 20 minutes. If it's shorter than 20 minutes, I'll watch it right away.
And now it's going to be potentially longer than 20 minutes, so I'm definitely going to be on the longer end. But again, thank you for having me on yet another Roundtable episode. And hopefully people want to come back next week.
Yeah.
Same time. What can they find?
Same time, same bat channel. Actually, I guess we should say wolf channel, huh? Next week, since we didn't get to do them this week, we're going to take a look at an adventure called Curse of the Were Giant, which is a little weird because were just means man, so this is Curse of the Man Giant.
It's just a giant baby.
And then the other one that I thought we would also take a peek at to start this series off is called, I think the series is Weekly Accessible Adventures, but the actual adventure is called The Price of Success, and it is about banshees.
Ooh, okay, well, we'll get our lore on, we'll get our little Celtic lore on for that one, I feel. And people can find us, like I said, here next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. To hell with all the rest of you that don't fall into those one or two easy.
Yeah, sorry, that's too much math, man. Sorry, y'all.
We still love you.
We still love you and hope you'll watch. Okay, bye. All right, I'm gonna kill Twitch first. Sorry, Twitch. I will remember to publish your video because I forgot for like 4 days last week. I apologize. The VOD will be available on Twitch. And for those of you on YouTube, you can always see the VOD. So until next week, I'm sure you'll